The headlines: 7 killed in boundary dispute between Benue Cross River communities. Police in FCT ban activities of scavengers to improve safety. Erratic rainfall worries farmers as harvest season sets in. And from the international scene, floods kill 150 in Libya after rainstorm. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thank you for joining us, and now the details. Now, 7 people have died following a violent clash on Monday between the Tiv and the Yache people of Yala local government area of Cross River State. Their 10 persons sustained machete cuts and are currently receiving medical attention. At least 15 mud houses were also set ablaze in the reprisal attack between the youths from both sides. There have been several skirmishes over boundary matters for several years, leading to violent clashes between the two communities. A community leader in Yache, Augustine Ode Abdullah, said they were in a church service when pandemonium ensued. Abdullah said the Tiv people have been paying royalties in the land but decided to stop. The Secretary of Yala and Cross River North Elders Forum, Leonard Anyogo, described the development as very unfortunate. He disclosed that the 2 deputy governors from both states had earlier met in the same community where they appealed for peace. Police spokesman in Cross River State, Irene Ugbo, said official report about the incident has not been received, but that the command will hold a security meeting shortly. Still on security, the Commander Operation Safe Haven and General Officer commanding the GOC 3 Division Nigerian Army, Major General Abdusalami Abubakar, has vowed to deal with criminals perpetrating attacks in the southern Kaduna state. The commander said this during an engagement with key stakeholders from 5 local government areas of Kaduna State covered by Operation Safe Haven held in Zango Kataf. The meeting came 3 days after a Catholic Church parish house in Kamantan Zango Kataf local government area of the state was set ablaze and a seminarian killed in an attack by gunmen. General Abdul Salam had during the meeting noted that the recurring isolated killings, destruction of farm, cow poisoning, cattle rustling, kidnapping and other sundry criminal acts must stop with immediate effect, warning that those perpetrating the insecurity for their selfish gains must embrace peace and find lawful means of livelihood or face the consequences of their evil motive. Speakers at the meeting, including the representatives of the Atiab, Fulani, Hausa, Ikuru, Christian Association of Nigeria, as well as Jamaat al-Nasr al-Islam, traditional and religious leaders pledged to support the strategies of OPSH in ending attacks on individuals and communities in the area. The religious and traditional leaders in Kaduna State said drugs addictions is the major factor contributing to the deteriorating of moral values and rise in criminal activities in the society. They believed that enhanced security of the communities is only achievable when security agencies work with a voluntary organization like the Hizbah to address some of the vices responsible for rise of insecurity within and outside the Muslim Ummah. The report.
Recently, activities of Sara Suka, fund snatchers, and other criminals have become a source of concern in Kaduna as police parade suspects arrested in connection with one crime or another. Worried by the rising crimes, Muslim clerics and traditional leaders meet at the headquarters of the Jama'atul Nasr al-Islam to discuss ways of addressing them.
Admonish the right deeds and, forbid people from committing sinful acts within the society. But there are restrictions. That is why the Hizbah committees can only detect the places know where they are and inform the relevant authorities, more especially the police.
The level of the criminality is getting worse. It's becoming out of hand. So I call on the security agencies, police, soldiers, they should align with the Hizbah group in order to arrest or to tackle the criminality in the society.
Badly. These are voluntary, people that give their lifetime and their resources for the betterment of humanity, for the development of the Ummah. Whether you are a Muslim or you are a Christian, our Hizbah personnel are always available to give assistance to you. And enhancing their capacity definitely does mean enhancing the capacity of the general population.
The Emir of Zazzau, Ahmed Nuban Mali, says traditional institutions play significant roles to protect societal norms and values, emphasizing the need to use the Hizbah operatives to complement the effort of security agencies in tackling menace in the society.
Within everybody's territory, who will have the right to ensure that all the issue of protection of his people will come. Protection will mean a lot. Protection against, having illegal children, having drunkards, have all these things. They are with him, even if it is the constitutional role. But this one, they are already the basic roles of a ruler. Even within a house, a household, the leader of the house has a responsibility over his children. So it's in the same wider perspective.
The clerics call for a collective approach to eradicate the menace of drug addiction that often create violent activities among youths.
So what we're supposed to do is that we're supposed to join hands and put our hands on deck in order to drag them into the peace, morality, and to teach them the right thought of Islam. If not, all what is happening in the society, most of it was happened by the drug abusers.
Our challenge presently is that at least let government understand that we are trying to complement their effort. We are not taking over their activities, but we want to complement. So at least we will need a rapid response to our call. When we have anything that is good and want them to encourage, let them support us. And when we can see people displaying criminality, whenever we call on them, let them quickly come and support us so that at least we can curtail and stop that activities.
The meeting is aimed at promoting teachings of Islamic morals among the communities to help address decadence. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna. Police in Adamawa State has arrested 4 suspected Shila boys and recovered tricycle and knives among other weapons. A statement by the PPRO of the command, SP Suleiman Yahaya Ungoroje, said that all the suspects are indigents of Yola North local government area and were arrested on the 10th September 2023. He explained that a combined team of police and members of local security support group nabbed the suspects after robbing some residents of Demsao and Nasarawa wards, respectively. He attributed the success to another operational strategy introduced by the Commissioner of Police, CP Afolabi Babatola, designed to checkmate Shila gangsterism. SP Suleiman Yahaya Ungoroje assured that the suspects will be prosecuted in accordance with extant laws. The Northeast Governors Forum has raised the alarm that bandits operating in the Northwest region are expanding their activities to the insurgency-ravaged Northeast region. The forum made the pronouncement during the 8th National Northeast Governors Forum meeting held in Maiduguri, Borno State. The governors in the communique called on the federal government to address the worsening insecurity in the region. The forum also noted that illegal mining activities in the northeastern states is constituting a threat to the security of the region, highlighting its violation of the Land Use Act. Speaking on the resolutions of the forum, Adamawa State Governor Umaru Fintiri said the forum wants the federal government to address perennial flood, climate change and deforestation in the region.
The forum is aware that some traditional rulers and other local authorities are conniving with the bandits, giving them shelter and cover to commit crimes within the sub-region. The forum unanimously resolved to decisively deal with any traditional ruler or community leader that is found to be harboring or conniving with the bandits. The forum noted with dismay the seeming neglect of roads and railway infrastructure, especially along the economic corridors that links the northeast sub-region to the rest of the country. The roads from Enugu to Maiduguri is in deplorable state. Equally worse is the railway from Enugu up to Maiduguri, which has been destroyed. The forum is calling on the federal government to look into the situation and consider the reconstruction of this basic infrastructure along Enugu-Maiduguri economic corridor.
The FCT Police Command has ordered the arrest of scavengers, also known as Baba Bola, in the nation's capital as part of the effort to curb the level of insecurity in the state. The Police Public Relations Officer of the Police Command, Josephine Ade, disclosed this while speaking with Trust TV on the level of insecurity in the FCT. Noel Sampson has more.
The FCT Police Public Relations Officer also said the command is beaming its searchlight on scavengers, also known as Babambola, in the FCT, who are notorious for stealing security lights and vandalizing public properties.
We've been arresting a lot of them. The Commissioner of Police have even made it a mandate. It's part of those mandate that he gave all the divisional police officers to make sure that they arrest. On sighting of these people, they should be arrested. And we've been arresting them, we've been charging most of them to court, we've been parading them. During one of these achievements that I mentioned earlier, you could see that there are some vandals who stole these manholes. We were able to recover some of these manholes. So those are part of the things we are doing. So we advise members of the public on citing these people. You can as well use our command emergency number, call our attention, or even call the attention of the division so that these people will be arrested.
She also spoke on what the FCT Police Command is doing concerning the security situation in the FCT in relation to kidnapping, car theft, attacks and robbery on residents at strategic locations at night.
We discovered that most of the uncompleted buildings is their hideouts. So we raid all these uncompleted buildings. Every divisional police officer has been charged with by the Commissioner of Police to raid all the black spots within his jurisdiction.
She used the opportunity to dish out some security tips for FCT residents to help them avoid being victims of crime.
When you see something, you say something to the police. Let me be clear now. It's not say something to right authority anymore. Say something to the police. Because we find out a lot of people will sit down at the comfort of their homes and make video to create panic. If we are not condemning or we are not ruling out the fact that you saw something and you are trying to alert members of the public, but in the form and ways you alert members of the public may create panic instead of solving the problem.
Security, they say, is everyone's business, hence the need for all to be involved through providing the police with vital information that can lead to crime reduction. Noel Sampson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Meanwhile, the Anambra State Commissioner of Police, Aderemi Adeoye, has hinted that the command may resort to airstrikes to flush out gunmen terrorizing residents in the north and southern senatorial district of the state. CP Adeoye said the air raid would help to completely eradicate insurgency in the areas of the state. He also stated that the command had taken over 5 local government areas in Anambra State and restored law and order to those areas. The CP said the command is yet to use airstrikes due to concerns about the safety of the people there and the need to avoid collateral damage. He, however, noted that if the existence of gunmen in the areas would make life meaningless to innocent people, then the federal government would have been pushed to the wall to go all out and take them out in order to secure the people who have become cannon fodder in their hands. The Nigerian police is investigating the death of an infant by a student of Gombe State University. The suspect, a female student of the university, was arrested by security guards of the institution for allegedly throwing the day-old baby from a story building after giving birth at the hostel or the student hostel. Ibrahim Ismail reports.
This viral video captured the moment when authorities of Gombe State University arrested the female student who allegedly threw a day-old baby from a 3-story building at the institution. The lady was said to have gave birth to the child out of marriage. Gombe State Police Command is investigating the matter.
We are sad. It's not a good case to investigate. We don't want it to happen. And that is why the Commissioner of Police, because he's a father, he has daughters, he has children as well. So if anything of such happen, so people are there looking for children, begging God, always praying for God to give them. We are investigating to find out what transpired and what happens from the first place that gets to that leads to this happening that we're talking about.
The police also urge institutions to report incidences immediately for timely intervention. The command called on parents and guardians to monitor activities of their wards.
They should endeavor to involve the police. They should inform us on time so that we can be able to do our investigation together with them. Without their cooperation, we may not be able to do anything about it, or we are not going to have what we require to commence investigation.
As it stands, details of the incident is still sketchy, but police authorities have promised to provide more information as soon as investigations are concluded. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Gombe.
You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming up, erratic rainfall worries Gombe farmers as harvest season sets in. This and more after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Update on Trust TV. Here is a recap of our top stories. We brought you 7 killed in boundary dispute between Benue and Cross River communities. And police in FCT ban activities of scavengers to improve safety. Now moving on to more stories, the Delta State's Governor, Sharif Oborivori, has filed a notice of appeal at the Supreme Court against the judgment of the Court of Appeal Abuja, which ordered the Delta State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal to hear on merit the petition filed by the candidate of the Labour Party in the last election, Ken Pella, challenging his election as governor. Oborivori, in the notice of appeal filed by his lead counsel, Damian Dodo San, listed 3 grounds upon which he would argue that the appellate court erred in making an order for a retrial in the Labour Party's petition. A 3-man panel of the Court of Appeal, led by Justice Lawal Shoaibu, had, in a judgment delivered on August 31st, faulted the decision of the tribunal to dismiss the case of the petitioners on claim that the petition was abandoned because the petitioner's application for pre-hearing session was not properly filed. Subsequently, the appellate court ordered that the petition be taken back to the tribunal for hearing within the time stipulated in the Electoral Act. Dissatisfied with the decision of the Court of Appeal, the governor has now filed a notice of appeal at the Supreme Court, where he is seeking an order of the court allowing the appeal. He also asked the court to set aside the judgment of the appeal court delivered on August 31st and affirmed the decision of the tribunal delivered on July 6th. Now, farmers in Gombe are expressing concerns over this season erratic rainfall, which may affect the outcome of their yields. The farmers say the situation is disheartening considering how close the harvest period is for most crops. Gombe has been without rainfall for almost 10 days now. Ibrahim Ismail visited some farmlands and sent in this report from Gombe State. Take a look.
These little beans plants in their developing stage need water to grow. The last rain dropped 10 days ago, and since then the plants are becoming yellowish and thirsty. Erratic rainfall has affected maize and millet, which required water this period. The land has dried up. Removing the grass has been very difficult. It could have been easier if it rains, and I will finish in just a day. The plants need water at this time. They are not ripe yet. This is our biggest challenge. The farmers who are optimistic of getting a bumper harvest urge Nigerians to pray for God's intervention. We praise God for the good condition of our farms. Although there is a decline in the rainfall, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. Experts have linked erratic rainfall to the effect of climate change, a global crisis that inflicts injury on Mother Earth. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Gombe.
The Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria has said it is impossible for price of petrol to go as low as 200 naira per litre, even if the refineries are revamped. The association noted this following a report published recently where the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria said petrol price would crash below 200 naira per litre if the refineries became functional again. The Chief Executive Officer and former chairman of the Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria, Tunji Oyebanji, in an interview said exchange rate of the dollar is affecting petrol price. He also said price of crude oil at the international market had been on a rising trend due to high demand and cuts by the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, the OPEC. The chairman, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Rivers State Chapter, Joseph Obele, had advised the federal government to ensure that the nation's refineries were fixed as planned. From the international scene, at least 150 people were killed in floods in the eastern Libya as a result of Storm Daniel, which had swept the Mediterranean, an official said on Monday. Images filmed by residents of the disaster area showed massive mudslides, collapsed buildings, and entire neighborhoods submerged underwater. Mohammed Masoud, a spokesman for the Benghazi-based administration in Libya, said the Prime Minister of the East-based government, Osama Hamad, and the head of a rescue committee, as well as other ministers, had traveled to Derna to evaluate the extent of the damage. Hamad's government, which rivals a unbrokered international recognized transitional administration in Tripoli on Monday, declared Derna a disaster area. Experts have described Storm Daniel, which also struck parts of Greece, Turkey, and Bulgaria in recent days, killing at least 27 people, as extreme in terms of the amount of water falling in a space of 24 hours. The storm struck eastern Libya on Sunday afternoon, notable the coastal town of Jabal al-Akhdar, but also Benghazi, where a curfew was declared and schools closed for several days. In sports, Novak Djokovic defeated Daniil Medvedev in straight sets on Sunday to win his fourth US Open and a record-equaling 24th Grand Slam singles titles, avenging his loss to the Russian in the final 2 years ago. The 36-year-old Djokovic won 6-3, 7-6, that's 7/5, 6-3 to become the oldest men's champion in New York in the Open era and match Margaret Court's all-time mark for most Grand Slam victories. The Serbian is the first man to win 3 Grand Slam events in the same season 4 times, crowning his impending return to world #1 in the most fitting of ways inside Arthur Ashe Stadium. Medvedev defeated Djokovic in straight sets in the 2021 final to prevent the Serbian from becoming the first man to win all 4 Grand Slams in the same year since Rod Laver in 1969. The pair traded holes largely untroubled until Djokovic again put pressure on Medvedev as the third seed served down 2-5. And finally, on a sad note, the doyen of the accounting profession, Pa Akintola Williams, has passed away at the age of 104. The foremost accountant celebrated his 104th birthday on August 9th. Pa Williams is reputedly the first sub-Saharan African to become a chartered accountant after he passed the qualifying examination of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of England and Wales, the ICAEW, in 1949. The icon played a leading role in the development of the profession in the country by facilitating the establishment of the Association of Accountants in Nigeria, which metamorphosed into the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, the ICAN. And with that, we wrap up News Update on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms, and you can join our YouTube Live for more news programs and documentaries. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thanks for watching.